Right. This is a really big issue, and we're back in the studio, and I'm glad to have Kojo Poku, who is an energy expert. Kojo, good to see you.
Hi, good evening.
I'm sure this is the first time we're meeting.
This is the first time we're meeting.
Right. I'm very well indeed, but you look good in a way.
Thank you.
Let's look at the business aspect of this. How would this affect oil production?
Well, it will affect it in a positive way. When 10 fields were basically discovered, they were to do 24 wells. They drilled only 11 wells, and out of the 24, the 11 that were drilled, there's application in 2015, which the Honorable former AG talks of, that they were asked to stop keep what you have done, but don't do any further activity. You know, so when the ruling came, only 11 wells, and out of the 11 wells, when the FPSO Atamils came, we're only being able to produce 50,000 barrels per day. The FPSO Atamils have 80,000 barrels per day. So for the last 2 years, imagine Ghana has been without 30,000 barrels that we could have had to show up our production. That aside, there are other blocks like the Hess block, which have made some very good progress in discoveries. They couldn't go into appraisal and production because it was also affected by the ruling.
Tell us more about that. How many people do we have waiting on the sidelines just in case Ghana wins the case? Because obviously, since the issue was in court, I'm sure people will be a bit reluctant to have some business dealings with us.
The difference in coming forward the last year, we've stopped the normal way of application for blocks. Now the new directive is that we are going to have a bidding round. So in the last 2 years, there hasn't been new application for blocks in Ghana. Everybody is waiting for maybe second quarter next year when there will be a bidding round for everybody to now be able to put in their offer for the available blocks. But what has happened is that new companies like AGM, which is below the Hess block, Carmack, which is above the Tulo block, they had just applied and gotten their petroleum agreement for the blocks. And because of the the court case, they couldn't even start their exploration, and their activities has been stalled greatly in the last 2 years because of that. So aside Tulo, which had Jubilee 2 and also the 10 to develop, to do the 13 wells that extra, you have Carmack and AGM, which are new blocks that the minute they got the exploration licenses, they couldn't do any work. So now that this ruling has come in our favor, they would be able to now get in the seismic, be able to place the seismic order for seismic boats to come in and do the necessary exploration that they need to do.
I'm sure this is going to bring a lot of money to us in terms of producing oil and selling. Assuming we did not win, I mean, how much would we have lost?
Oh, quite a significant amount, because imagine where the delineation they wanted took away the whole of the Tulo block, which is where the 10 fields are, which is where Jubilee is, and that is where we are most prolific as a country, the Tano Basin. And in the ruling that the judges, there was a bit where they said that you cannot delineate based on economic, because the Ivorians were trying to argue that because they have a similar structure in terms of where oil is found, and that is the structure that extends to the Ghana end, so they should be given that area because it is a structure which extends from their end to our continental shelf. And the judges said, no, look, you cannot do that because the geographical line is geographical line. You cannot delineate for economic purposes. So yes, we are very prolific in the Tano Basin, and that is where most of our future exploration and production is going to come from. So it would have been a lot in terms of how much we project. We've taken a lot of loans on the back of that. The Ghana gas and all the projects that we've done in this country is on the back of the oil find that we have. So if we had gone to Ivory Coast, it would have been a big problem for us financially.
What should we do to avoid recurrence of this kind of dispute?
Well, I think we are the only country that, one of the countries that don't really patrol our seas. I think the government, against all odds, should secure naval vessels for the Navy. We only have patrol boats. We don't have vessels. You know, we need vessels to go to basically the deep seas to patrol our borders. And now that we've gotten the maritime boundary given to us by the court, we need to patrol it. You know what I mean? Not only people are talking about the Togo end as well. We might also have issues when we go into exploration in the Keita Basin, when we now have some findings in the Keita Basin.
That's a new interest area,
exactly,
right?
And the Voltarian Basin also, we are talking about some exploration in that area. So yes, we need to patrol our borders, and if we have been patrolling our borders, most of these activities will not occur. So going forward, I think everybody is saying that, look, yes, we won Ivory Coast, let's also keep one eye on the Togo border. If we can also test the case to make sure that we know what our borders are, and when we are spending the billions of money, we're spending within our borders and not in other people's territory.
Nice speaking to you, Kujapoko. I'm sure we'll find a lot more time.
No, definitely.
To deliberate on this issue. Ghana has won the case against Ivory Coast on the maritime border dispute. It's been on since 2008. Thank you very much for being with us, Kujapoko. He's an energy expert.